Virgo, this is your week ahead astrology forecast from Astrology Motivation by Born Without Boundaries. In these weekly videos, I review the major aspects and transits that are going on right now, and I let you know how they impact your natal sun and then what that means for your bottom line. To enjoy these videos, all you need to do is know your birth date. That's it. Everything else, I will translate for you. I'm going to start off really broad with the big stuff, the sort of global energy. And then I'm going to focus that down into Virgo specific energy. And then I will break everything down into the 3 decans of Virgo to help me understand how your natal sun is relating to all the other planets and what that means for you this week. This is the week of August 4th through the 10th of 2023. The big stuff. There's no major planetary transits this week, though Mercury is going into its shadow period, which absolutely does directly impact you. It is your ruling dignitary, and it is home. So it's actually going to be going into retrograde while in Virgo. This is pretty huge, but let's get into right now. We will begin by the end of this week, Mercury's shadow period. I'm telling you this because the retrograde begins on August 23rd, but I'm telling you about the shadow period because it honestly sometimes ends up worse than the actual retrograde itself. So if you start feeling, especially since Mercury is home right now and it is conjunct a lot of your natal suns, if you start feeling like things are kind of going a wreck and why are things going haywire and all those Mercury retrograde kind of interruptions, it is because Mercury is slowing down and it is absolutely conjuncting some of your natal suns, and we will definitely review which ones. We have some major aspects in the sky, major in that cumulatively they kind of create an aura, or an aura is the wrong word. They kind of create a vibe, a feeling, more like a mentality. And it's actually a good one, especially after all the heavy that we've been through. We went through a lot with the inner planets, Mercury, Mars. It was Mars, Venus, and then Mercury, and then the sun in opposition to Pluto. That was a lot of heavy energy. And then when the sun was opposite Pluto, we also at the end of it had Mars opposite Saturn. That is a very intense energy, heavy, implosive kind of energy. So now that that is past, there is a weight that's been lifted off of us. And there's also an optimism that's going on right now, and I'll explain it to you. So we have Jupiter and Venus, arguably the most benefic energies in the cosmos. They are optimistic, palpable. No, not palpable. They're optimistic and amiable, so friendly energies. They're very active right now. Jupiter is square to the sun. I got my notes written down so that I know exactly what I'm talking. So I remember what I'm talking about. We have Jupiter square the sun, trine Mars, and by the 6th of this week, it's also going to be trine Mercury as well, because Mercury and Mars will be conjunct. This gives us this energy of, I want to move forward. I want to expand. I want to grow. Now, progress and movement forward isn't always about taking a quick action. Sometimes it's about sitting and learning and growing your options and opportunities, and like allowing the opportunities, becoming almost like gravity for opportunities to come into you. So this is an excellent time and an excellent energy to grow and expand and take actions on your future by allowing yourself to grow and expand and take in the potential opportunities around you. We also have Venus heavily active. Venus is in retrograde in Leo, which could bring back past love affairs or could just have you reevaluate your value systems and what you desire, and what was attractive to you might not be so attractive or appealing or valuable after this retrograde is over. Venus's retrograde ends in the beginning of October. So Venus is right now square to Uranus and trine to Chiron. Square to Uranus in and of itself can be quite mischievous. It can roll things up a little bit in the way that It can make you think outside of your relationship or desire something new. And that could create an atmosphere of working at being curious outside of your relationship, or desiring things that are a little bit taboo or avant-garde, and that may not be, you might start clashing with your person if you are in a long-term relationship, or you may see yourself, if you're single, being attracted to people that you're not normally attracted to, and even though the hookup might be great, it's not going to really last past the square. It's not going to really last for a long time. It's sort of just a phase that you need to go through. So why do I like this energy now is because Venus is also trying to Chiron. And she's not square to Uranus in isolation of being trying to Chiron. She's both at the same time while she's in retrograde. So this is sort of a retrospective of going through what I've learned the hard way. This is Chiron. Making amends with that, healing from that, and now being open to and interested in things that I normally wasn't interested in because maybe I learned differently. Let's go back to Jupiter. We're expanding, we're growing, we're open to different opportunities, and it could be the realization of what we've learned, the realization that what we were attracted to, what appealed to us was actually not good for us and created a lot of pain. And so the changes that we're making, the changes in our interests, the changes in what we value could very well be how we grow and how we expand and how we are able to move forward as better versions of ourselves. So we also have the sun. The sun will conjunct Venus on the 9th. This is a troublesome one that I want to get into. That's actually a really romantic and beautiful energy. But the one that I want to get into, and that happens at the end of this week, on the 10th, Mars will form a loose opposition to Neptune. There's a lot of other positive things going on in the sky, but this is quite troublesome because it can be very delusional and can have people taking action on delusions or feeling like they have to take action because they have to prove themselves because they feel weak and they feel vulnerable, because it absolutely can make you feel like you are, the word that when I studied this aspect, the word that kept coming up over and over was inadequate, and overcompensating for those perceived inadequacies. And so what is really important as we move into the end of this week and go into next week, because that opposition will be real and live by the end of this week, and it will last for quite about 2 weeks, I think. So what do we need to know from this? We need to trust in faith. We need to access faith. And that's really good because Jupiter is a faith-based planet, right? It's all about connectivity to God and learning about how different people express their connection to God or get connected to God. It's about openness and expansion. So you're going to be tempted over the next 2-3 weeks to push yourself ahead and force yourself ahead based on the delusion that you have to force yourself ahead to get anywhere. And the way that you're supposed to be forcing yourself, you're not supposed to be forcing yourself ahead. You're supposed to be allowing yourself to learn and expand and grow and be curious about the world so that you actually, in comparison to the hard lessons that you've learned and how can I make better choices, opposed to delusionally taking these new chances and trying these new things just to make yourself feel like your life is changing or that you're doing different things. No, right now, honestly, is the time to have faith in the path that you've chosen and walk step by step, slowly continuing on that path. And don't let any temptation of, hey, this will get you there quickly, or hey, this will improve your life quickly, or hey, this will make you something. Don't allow that to pull you off your path, because all it's going to do is suck you into an abyss and waste your energy and set you back. The way forward now is the way that you're going. Stick to your direction, stick to your path, and don't be tempted off of it. even if it doesn't look perfect, even if there is a lot of caveats that are going on right now in the world, in society, if there's a lot of troublesome stuff happening in your life, the only way out is through. You have to keep moving forward. And as you move forward, that growth and expansion and progress will happen simply because your progress is faith-based. It's based on, I know that something is out there, is up ahead. I don't think the devil, let's put the devil as the negative, toxic energy, wants us to get through the woods. It doesn't. It wants us to get stuck in the woods. It wants to draw us off our path. And so our way forward is through faith. Is like, I know there are going to be dark times. I know there are going to be rough patches. And the truth is, I don't think that it's very rough, that the patches are very rough. I think that it's all a play on our pride. All a play on, we got to do something. We got to act fast. We got to act now. Just because somebody wants your money or somebody wants to get your energy. That's all. They're not doing it to actually help you. They're doing it to help themselves. It's very toxic and it's very false. But there will be, over the next 2 to 3 weeks, a lot of opportunity to believe that trash. Don't. Stay your course. Follow your goal. Follow your light and follow in faith. So that's the overall energy right now. Let's go into Virgo specific energy. Virgo specific energy, I look at 2 things. I look at what's going on in Virgo, and I look at what's going on with Mercury, your ruling dignitary. So what's going on in Virgo? In the zodiac sign of Virgo right now, we have 2 planets. We have Mars and Mercury. Mercury is slowing down. You can tell because Mercury is only moving between 9 and 15 degrees Virgo right now. In a normal week, Mercury moves about 10 degrees per week. It's fast. It moves really fast. The only thing that moves faster is the moon. So we have Mercury slowing down 9 to 15 degrees. It's only moving 6 degrees, right? So we know it's slowing down. And this is why I talk about, communications might not come through as quickly. Things might not be happening as quickly as you expect them to. Expectations are a real pitfall right now in this climate. I would say over the next 3 weeks, expectations are your enemy. So try to stay away from them. We also have Mars in Virgo moving between 15 and 19 degrees. It's moving pretty steady. So Mercury itself is in Virgo, like I said, moving between 9 and 15 degrees. It's slowing down. It's going into its shadow period by the end of this week. On the 6th of this week, it will conjunct Mars. And then by the 10th, they will kind of both be, by the 10th, Mars will be opposite Neptune and Mercury will be quick to follow. When Mercury is opposite Neptune, there is a lot of delusion that can happen. A lot of dreamlike interruption that can really confuse you, and it's really easy to sell people tonic water as medicine. It's easier to fall for shit. So that's why I say stay the course and don't believe everything that you want to believe is what I'm saying. Because what do I mean by want to believe? You want to believe it because it'll make something easier or smoother or help you escape. You've got to stay the course right now. Mercury is also trine to Jupiter, which is lovely energy by the 6th. This is excellent for the mind, excellent for curiosity, and excellent for learning, and excellent for optimism. Mercury is also sesosquare to the north node and semi-square to the south node, which means that there are confusing messages coming in between like what should I do, not really sure how to move forward when it comes to my life. And that's why I say stay the course, because if there isn't certainty, faith has to be in what you've already chosen while there was certainty. And then we have the shadow period beginning now, and retrograde will start around the 23rd. Let's break things down into the decans so you know exactly how everything is impacting you based on your birth date, really based on the placement of your natal sun in Virgo. But I will estimate the birth date range for you. If you have your natal chart and you know that your natal sun is located between 0 and 9 degrees Virgo, You are a Virgo 1. And because your sun is in the first decan, or a decan is a group of 10 degrees. So your natal sun is somewhere in the first 10 degrees of Virgo. This correlates to birthdays, basically August Virgos. Anywhere between August 22nd and August 31st would be a Virgo 1. So Leo cuspers right up until about the 1st of October. Your natal suns are in opposition to Saturn. What does that mean when your natal suns are in opposition to Saturn? Well, this is a long-term aspect. It's nothing new. It just means that there is a lot of contention when it comes to authority figures, which can also be your parents, rules, laws, or regulations. Contention doesn't necessarily mean you're breaking the laws. It means they're grinding on you. So you're doing a lot of things with legalities. You're doing a lot of things with technicalities, with established structures that can be very irritating and not letting you rest. But hopefully it can be a very productive time. That's over the next year. You also have a quincunx to Pluto, which suggests that there's a lot of dynamic changes happening in your soul, by who you are, in your person. You can also be a lot more confrontational and formidable. It could be that these challenging energies are challenging you to shift your preferences, shift the way you see the world and the way you see what's right and wrong, as well as shift your tolerance for them. Something in your life, I would say, is breaking so that it is making room for something new to form. That will happen definitely over the next year, with Saturn probably in your work life, and then into the next couple of years with Pluto. Let's go on to Virgo. Those are long-term though. Nothing in particular is happening to you right now this week that's going to throw you off, except the general stuff that's impacting all Virgos. Virgo 2, if you know your natal sun is between 10 and 19 degrees Virgo, it is in the second decan of Virgo, and you are Virgo 2s. This correlates to birthdays between September 1st and the 10th, and maybe into the 11th, depending on the year. Virgo 2s. So we have Mercury conjunct your natal sun by the 6th. Mercury, basically all week long. Mercury is conjunct your natal sun, and Mars is conjunct your natal sun. The two will conjunct each other by the 6th of this week. What does that mean? It's very, especially since both of them are in Virgo, it's going to help your processes. It's really going to help you be able to organize things, put things into systems, really make smart decisions and take action on it. Intellectual decision making and action, as well as a wonderful time for education and expanding your brain and your knowledge base. This is a wonderful time to research. It's a wonderful time to put things into order, give order to things. You will be highly productive right now, and that's a wonderful thing. So what would I suggest? I mean, anything with work, anything with important communications. This is such a wonderful time for you to get important paperwork done, to plan things out and make sure that everything is in the right order. You'll have a lot of focus for this stuff, and I think you'll be highly productive when it comes to work, including things like applications or applying for new roles or starting your new business. There's just a lot of ability in your attention span right now to focus on those details. So it's almost like super Virgo. That's kind of what it feels like. Your natal suns are also trine to Jupiter, which is beautiful, which means there's a lot of optimism and fortune and luck naturally around you. So it's definitely a time for you to trust your mind and trust what you've learned and know that, yes, you can do this no matter how big the job. Absolutely. And then we have a long term, especially if you're born around the 9th or 10th of September. you have a long-term quincunx to Chiron, which means you will be super inspired to make up for mistakes from the past, or show that you've learned from them, or change things around. It may seem like there's a lot of challenges that are constantly, like everything is a little bit more hard and challenging in your life. But this week, because of all that helpful energy, you will be able to attack even the most difficult and emotional problems, because Mercury conjunct the Sun will give your mind a lot of objectivity as well. On the 7th, the Moon will conjunct Jupiter. This will be, that's right, on August 7th, a day of optimism, of feeling optimistic. And so if you're going to put yourself out there on any day, I would say do it on the 7th, because your optimism will be magnified, right? Let's go on to Virgo 3s. So Virgo 3s, if you know your natal sun is located between 20 and 29 degrees Virgo, you are Virgo 3s. In terms of birth date ranges, this would span between, say, the 11th and the 21st, maybe up through the 22nd of September, depending on when Virgo season ended that year. Your natal suns are in a semi-square to the sun. So if you're feeling a little bit like maybe a little bit more arrogant, like you have to overcompensate for because you're not feeling as confident as normal, that's what that is. There's nothing really about you that, and people may be butting heads with you a little bit more. You might run into stubbornness a little bit more. It's just something you have to breathe through. It's not something you can't get over. We also have an opposition to Neptune, which for you guys has been long-standing. On the 4th, the Moon is going to be conjunct to Neptune, which means the Moon will be opposite your natal suns too. This could be a very distracting or tiring day for you. You could be fading into dream world a lot of times, or you could feel your energy drained and you could feel like you need more rest. Anything that is around Neptune, I would say allow yourself the rest and allow yourself cleansing, especially through water and salt baths. This could be just a day of self-care for you, because it will be harder for you to focus, and you will be dealing with more crap in the way of people trying to get one over on you. So any important decisions that day on the 4th, when this comes out, I would say definitely have somebody else more objective look it over for you. FYI, you have a long-term trine to Pluto and a long-term trine to Uranus. This means change. This means dynamic change and getting comfortable with things that are taboo or outside of the box. You are definitely the most dynamic Virgos right now, and will be the most unexpected and surprising Virgos. You have a courage about you when it comes to things that are more psychic or more taboo or more out there. Allow your interests to help you grow and expand. That's over the next couple of years. On the 8th, your natal suns will be trine to the Moon. Trine to the Moon, which is conjunct Uranus, which means there could be, on the 8th, there could be surprising emotions that come up seemingly out of nowhere, that kind of just catch you by surprise. Emotions like you could feel something for somebody that you normally didn't, or emotions that you thought were gone all of a sudden pop up. This could cause distraction, but it also could help you to heal as long as you address them and don't deny them and allow them to flow through you. I love you guys, and I hope this has helped. So please do feel free to leave comments below. I'd love to know how this all is impacting you guys. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed, and to like and share this video if you really love it and find it useful. Then come on over to Born Without Boundaries Tarot for your week ahead tarot card message. I love you, and I'll talk to you in the videos. Bye.